I'm your host, Elliot Pierre, as per usual. And first and foremost, we started off the same way every day. I want to say thank you and give a bit of gratitude to everybody taking the time to either watch this live or watch it afterwards. It means the world to me. I'm shocked every day of how many people keep tuning in. So thank you very much for your support. It means the world to us. On that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
How's she cutting me, loves? You're listening to the Mac City Morning Show.
All right, so we have my favorite guests in the world. We have one of my favorite here today. And why I call these individuals my favorite guests is because I know nothing about the person sitting across the room from me. Complete stranger. So that's what I live for, to meet new people and find out about their story here in Fort Mac. So on that note, as you guys know at this point, I don't introduce my guests because they do a much better job than I ever will. So can you please introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are?
Hi, my name is Christal, and I am the chairperson for Special Olympics Wood Buffalo.
Very cool. There we go. Christal, thanks for coming here today.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. So I guess my first question for you is, for a bunch of people at home who don't know, what is Special Olympics Wood Buffalo? What do they do? I think a lot of people have seen like Special Olympics on television. Up until last year, where I did a video for you guys, I had no idea that you existed or what the whole program was about. So can you inform and educate the people listening at home?
We actually just restarted last year, so that's when we had you guys do the video.
Right.
Special Olympics Wood Buffalo was in Fort McMurray previously for 24, 25 years, and they shut down around 2011, 2012. And my son was born in 2012. And after his birth, we got a diagnosis of Down syndrome. So I became very passionate about getting Special Olympics back to Wood Buffalo because I wanted him to have those opportunities like his peers would have. So last year we restarted up and became Special Olympics Wood Buffalo. We offer programs for kids, all sport related, all various sports, and we have winter sports and summer sports. So we do a lot of work on getting the programs up and running, training, working on that, and then as the athlete develops, we can go do competitions, and they can build to go to provincials, nationals, and as you see on TV, traveling to Special Olympics around the world and compete. So that's the whole purpose, is to get them out, moving activity, having the relationships with their peers like any typical child would have, and to hopefully develop those skills and potentially become a higher end athlete, like I said, just like any Special Olympics that you see.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So now here in town, I know you guys try to do as many activities and sports as possible. Last year, there was only 3, I believe, that you guys were focusing on.
Yes.
What are the sports or like activities that you guys are working on now? Even are you working on things now with COVID, obviously?
Well, right now with COVID, we are on a suspension due to like the numbers and what's happening, and to keep our athletes as safe as possible. That being said, we're working very hard on when we do restart programming to get our programs up and running and to build onto the programs that we had.
Yeah.
So when we were shut down, we were only up and running 5-6 weeks when we got shut down for COVID.
Right.
We were doing bowling, powerlifting, and we were hoping to get swimming up and started. So those were the 3 that were just launched last year, and we're hoping to continue that when, like I said, everything gets lifted. And we're working on looking at bocce ball. It's the most adaptive sport available. Anybody of any ability can play it. It's a really fun game. I got to try it out about 1.5 years ago, and we had a blast. So we're really looking at getting bocce ball up and going, and then we're also looking at like floor hockey for our adults, and just like I said, it's more like get the swimming up and going, get bowling back, get our powerlifting back, and then we're gonna look at track and field and a bunch of other things. But it's all steps. But during this time, the board is working very hard on, building up our funds so that when we are able to open, we have the funding to open and offer the programs to our athletes and get the equipment. So we've been working on getting equipment and things like that. So when we're able to restart our programs, we're ready.
Right on. Cool. So you said something that I do want to touch on in regards to funding and supporting you guys. So it was really cool when I came down. I was blown away with the amount of support you guys had at the event in regards to parents and volunteers. So obviously, I know now is a little bit challenging because you're not in full swing. That being said, you're still operational. How can people help in regards to helping with fundraising initiatives, and when things get up and going? If somebody wanted to get in contact to volunteer, how would they get in contact with you guys?
They go on the website, Special Olympics Alberta, and there's a spot to click on that says like volunteers, and you put it in and you put in what area, and we're down as Wood Buffalo, not Fort McMurray, because we actually serve. Our goal is to service all of Wood Buffalo, not just the central. So,
Right.
like for bowling, we were bringing kids in from Fort McKay for bowling and things like that. So we were hoping to continue that and branch out to make sure that we're accessible, and if possible, offer even programs in those other communities through volunteers and with coaches and things like that. So like our goal is to service all of the region, not just the central hub. So like I said, there's a volunteer form on there that you can fill out, and we'll get in touch with you on that. And then we also have subcommittees for like marketing and fundraising to help with those areas. So if anyone is like really good at fundraising or marketing, we have the subcommittees that work with our marketing board member and our treasurer board member to come up with ideas and implement those to help us get the funding we need to go forward.
Cool.
So.
And if you're just an average person like myself,
so
completely average, how can I get give you funds and help you with those initiatives?
you can get in contact with us.
Okay.
You can email myself at sowbchairperson@gmail.com, or our treasurer, sowbtreasurer@gmail.com.
There you go.
And let us know. We'd be more than happy to take any funds that we can get.
There you go. Yeah, no, sporting equipment's not cheap.
No, it's really not.
Not cheap.
No, and certain sports are a lot more expensive than others. We're like learning about the different costs on different things, and the point is to have the equipment for all the athletes and do what we can for them.
So prior to getting into this role, I'm fascinated with what brings people to Fort McMurray. How long have you been here? Why did you come?
I'll be here 22 years this May.
22 years.
22 years.
Wow.
We got out of college and I was on a plane.
Which college?
College North Atlantic in Newfoundland.
Okay.
Finished my course, and literally a week later I was on a plane to Fort McMurray. I honestly just hit me that this is where I was going. I didn't know anybody here. I've never been here.
Really?
Yeah, my mom was having a heart attack. My mom's like, "You're going across the country to somewhere you don't know anyone and never been." And I was like, "Yep, that's where I'm going." And that's what I did. And here I am 22 years later.
That's awesome. So you literally came on a solo mission.
Yep.
So did you call, you had a place for rent, or did you do like old fashioned, just go into a motel somewhere?
After I decided to come, I found out my stepdad's brother lived here. So I was like, "Hey, can I stay with you for a little bit?" And I came and I got a job, and not even a month later, I was moved out of his place and moved in with someone I just met, and sharing an apartment with a couple that I met like 2 weeks prior. And then like after I was here, I found other friends that were here, but I didn't know that this is where they came, because after high school, you're all doing your own thing. You don't always know what's happening.
Yeah, there's no Facebook back then.
No, right? It was all like word of mouth. And like after I was here, it was like, "Oh, so-and-so's here." I was like, "Oh, really?" And then you just kind of branch that way. But yeah, so I just stayed with my step-uncle, I guess, that I barely knew, for a few weeks. And then I was out renting an apartment and just went from there.
That's awesome. So on the same note, what was your first job when you came to Fort Mac?
I was customer service at the Brick.
Customer service at the Brick? Okay. I'm thinking 22 years ago. Where was the Brick located in town?
Down on Franklin.
Right, where the municipal building is now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and it had the downstairs.
Yeah.
Did you work upstairs or downstairs?
I was customer service. I was at the front desk.
Okay.
So if anybody had a problem or an issue, they would come up to the front or call in, and I would do my best to help them out.
Yeah, that's a blast from the past. Yeah. Like that was the location of the Brick for people. Now they're like, "Oh, the Brick is where it is."
Yeah.
No, it used to be on Franklin.
Yeah, I still have a hard time with where it is now compared to.
Yeah.
I have to remind myself that it's like a new location, not where I was.
Yeah, that's
employed.
right. I'm notorious for giving horrible directions. So if I ever give you directions in Fort McMurray, I'm really sorry. I'm bad at it. I give directions based on landmarks.
Yes.
And most of the landmarks that I grew up with aren't here anymore. So
Yeah.
like I'll tell people like on Rydell Street, for example, for anybody who knows where Rydell is, at the end of Rydell where there's apartments, is where Canadian Tire used to be.
Yep.
And so I'm just like, oh yeah, just go to Canadian Tire and old Canadian Tire, and you'll be able to figure it out. And they're like, what are you talking about, old Canadian Tire? I'm like, oh, yeah, that was like 20 years ago. My bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Like, and I think from being from Newfoundland, that's a lot what we do.
Yeah.
Like my hometown, the old swimming pool,
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been there probably 30 years, but it's down at the old swimming pool.
That's right. That's exactly it. My other one that I confuse people with is because it's no longer there. I'm like, oh yeah, go to the old theater.
Yeah.
And they're like, old theater? Oh, you mean like the one that's downtown, like behind Choices and whatnot? And I'm like, no, that's the new theater. And I'm like, what do you mean that's a new theater? Like it just,
Yeah.
and the old theater, they bulldozed it. It's not even here anymore.
No, it's over
So
by the keg and
yeah,
it's flattened.
my reference points are totally invalid.
Like Centennial Pool.
Centennial
Yes,
Pool,
that's another
yeah,
one,
that's
yeah.
another gem. Good one,
Yeah.
Tanner.
Yeah, with the big yeller.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about Centennial Pool. That's where I learned how to swim.
Okay.
But yeah, you can't even go in it anymore. I wonder what the
It doesn't even exist anymore.
No.
What do you mean? They took it down?
They tore it down
When?
like a year ago.
Wow.
Yeah, they're gonna put an A&W there. It says there's fenced off, and there's a sign that says future home of an A&W.
Well, you must be happy about that.
I'm quite psyched.
I've never seen that one. So that's
Yeah.
good to know.
Tanner loves A&W.
I
So,
do.
wow.
Closer to home.
There you go. So after 22 years, you came from Newfoundland. I think that's a pretty common destination that people
Yeah.
move from here to Fort McMurray. But you stayed for 22 years.
Yeah.
So what's kept you here? What about Fort McMurray do you obviously love 22 years later?
The people, I'll be honest. I mean, you've never been in a community that's so loving and caring and compassionate as what I find here. I mean, when they know someone needs help, we pull together and everyone helps. When people are struggling, it's bar none on the people that'll help others here, whether they're here or even if they hear someone needs help, like a friend of a friend somewhere else. It's like, oh, well, we need to help that person. And just that community and that involvement has been huge.
Right. That's awesome. That's so true. It's so true. I have a theory about that actually. I feel the reason Fort McMurray is such a place where people come together is because everybody, for the most part, outside of me and Tanner, are from somewhere else. And so you kind of know, you get it in regards to like, oh, I moved here from somewhere else. These were the struggles that I dealt with. Let me help this other person because I've been in that situation before. So it's a community of people from different places. You don't have your family. You don't have your friends. The people that are around you become your family and friends. And so you become like a really tight-knit community.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, this is going too easy. Like you and I, this is too easy of a conversation to have. So we're going to have to put you on the hot spot a little bit here.
Okay.
Right? So we have a segment. It's Tanner's segment called the
Okay.
Mac City Minute. He's going to ask you 5 questions.
All right.
I have no idea what they are, and neither do you. So do your best, and I wish you nothing but luck.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Tanner, hit it with your questions.
All right, question number 1. What is your favorite sport to do with the children?
Bowling. I enjoy bowling, and a lot of our athletes, that's one of the prime ones. So the excitement and the joy of just watching them and getting the pins and getting strikes, they just get so excited, and it just brings you right in, and it's just the best feel-good moment. I mean, I love all the sports and they do all that, but I think bowling is by far my favorite.
Question number 2. What is your most special moment from working with children?
Oh my goodness. I think just the smiles. Honestly, like when you're with the kids and you see them just interacting and smiling and succeeding and just pushing themselves beyond. Like a lot of the kids struggle just to do what comes natural to most people. So when you see them struggling and they succeed and they make it work, and just the joy and the happiness, I think just seeing those smiles is the best thing you can ever have.
Question number 3. What do you do to get yourself out of your comfort zone?
Push myself. It's hard. There's probably a lot of sitting and going, I can't do this. But it's, no, you're doing it. Kind of bite the bullet and push yourself through it. And after you get through it the first time, it's a lot easier after that. And it just gets easier and easier. And then it's come yeah, you know what, I like this, I enjoy it, and it's great, and just, biting down and pushing the fear to the side and making it happen.
Question number 4. What is your favorite Sunday morning breakfast spot?
Ooh, I'm not a big breakfast person. I'm really not sure, to be honest, because I don't usually go for breakfast. I'm not a big breakfast person.
Your kitchen table.
Yeah, there you go.
And your last question, what was the feeling you got that drew you to Fort McMurray?
Like I said, I just don't know just where I decided to go. It was
Intuition.
yeah, I guess it was just that's where I'm going and that's where I'm going to make it work, and I did.
There you go. Good for you.
Those have been your 5 questions.
Yeah, see, you're just a natural at this. This is my, honestly, and that's why I love having you here today. I have no idea who you are.
Nope.
And it just, for everybody watching at home who's a little bit nervous or apprehensive about coming, like, this is how easy it is. So when you were going to North Atlantic, what did you study there?
I did office administration. I did a 2-year program.
Okay.
For executive and for medical.
All right.
Don't ask me anything medical because that's gone.
That's gone. Yeah, that was over 22 years ago.
And I've never worked in it. So
That's hilarious.
yeah, so I did that, and like I said, I started at the brick, and then I got into structural steel and built up from there, and got into being in inside sales and managing warehouses and purchasing and inventory management, and just built off of that.
There you go. My dad worked in a warehouse. That's what he did here in Fort Mac out at Syncrude. For 34 to 36 years, he worked in a warehouse out at Syncrude, primarily 41B, if my memory serves me correct.
Oh, I probably would know him because when I was out there.
Gregory Pierre was his name.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know.
You know
him.
Greg
I
Pierre?
do.
He's watching right now. Hey, Dad. Okay, yeah. So that's my dad. He worked at, I love my dad, Gregory Pierre, warehouse.
Yeah.
So,
Good thing you're wearing shoes for this episode.
I know Gregory Pierre gets upset when I don't put shoes on. That's cool that you know my dad.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, he's definitely going to tune in. Well, he's watching. He doesn't miss an episode.
Oh,
and he
okay.
critiques me, which I love. I love the support from my family. So
That's awesome.
he'll definitely be like, oh, I remember her.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
That's
I,
cool.
I was out there between 2000 and 2006 is when I was out there.
Nice.
It's been quite a long time, but yeah.
Small world.
Hi,
Fort
Pierre
McMurray.
family.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, my family and Tanner's family, unbelievably supportive of what we're doing.
That's great.
I'm pretty sure we have one viewer in Ireland and one viewer in Guyana as well. So
Oh, there we go. Well,
your family support runs deep.
yeah, they're global. They're global. So on that note, we're at the end of our time together.
Okay.
So before I let you go, though, please, one more time, tell everybody about the organization that you work with, how they can get in contact, what you guys do. This is the end of the show where you got to do one more shameless plug.
All right. No, it's Special Olympics Wood Buffalo. If you want to volunteer, go on Special Olympics Alberta and click the volunteer tab and fill out the form, and we will definitely get in touch with you for see where you want to help and how you want to help. All help is totally welcomed. If you want to get in touch with us for anything specific, again, my email is sowbchairperson@gmail.com. Feel free to email me any questions, if you're looking for information, if you want to help fundraise, join a subcommittee, or even donate, just feel free to reach out.
There we go. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Really do appreciate it. I tell this to every guest, and some have taken me up on it already. Anytime you want to come back to talk, just hang out with me and Tanner, please feel free to do so.
Yep.
And anything that you are doing with your organization, if you want to get the message out there, the show is going to be going on forever and ever and ever. So please come back, and we're more than happy to help promote and have you here again and again.
Perfect. Sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. No worries. On that note, that's the end of the show. Once again, I got to say thank you for everybody tuning in. It really does mean the world to me, and I appreciate you spending the time with us. So on that note, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
I said this. That's another Mac City Morning Show done.